Hello. Just checking if anybody can hear me and just give me a quick hello and thumbs up. Just going to give it a few minutes. I've started a couple of seconds earlier. So welcome everybody. Amanda from Tailored Transformations, and this live is for mind and for suicide prevention. So I'm hoping today to share some tools with you, some well-being tips, and I'm going to focus on goals and mind setting. And if you can afford to, please donate to mind and suicide prevention. So I want to talk a little bit about that first before I get started. So 1 in 4 of us experience mental health every year, and 1 in 5 of us will attempt suicide during their lifetime. So this is why it's so important to get information out there, to make sure people know what to do if they come across somebody with suicidal thoughts, if they've got suicidal thoughts. Um, and this is what raising money for them, for Mind, to really work with that. In fact, I think it was 24 million times people visited Mind's help pages last year alone. So that just goes to show how important it is to have those resources, to have those information out there. So I'm going to start off by just popping in the comments the link to the Just Giving page, and anybody that does join, I would be ever so grateful if you can check it out, donate what you can if you can. I'm also going to have my other half on today in the comments called Tim Taylor, and he will just be sharing any links, any bits of information, answering any questions that you might have. So yeah, so if you see Tim there responding to you, that's just because I'm waffling on here and he's just going to help out through there. So let's talk about all of this. Let's talk about goals. So I'm going to start off with the basics. Talk a little bit about how the mind works and then how we can use this to help us get the right mindset and just prepare for any goals that we might do. So it's that time of year, people are making New Year's resolutions, promises to themselves, and quite often a lot of us don't stick to that. We struggle to maintain it sort of great for the first couple of weeks and then it drifts off. And there can be numerous reasons for this. Life happens, is one of them. But there's things that we can do to sort of help that mindset and to really get us into a better place. And the start of it is looking at the goals that you're doing. So a lot of you may have heard of the SMART goal technique, which is a really good one to start off with when you're doing any goals. So for those of you that haven't, I'll just quickly mention it to you now, and hopefully Tim might be able to pop that answer in the notes and the comments for me as well, just so you can reflect on that. So SMART, so the first one is S for specific. So be specific in what it is that your goal is. Don't make it wishy-washy. It needs to be well defined and clear. So, you know, if you, for example, want to exercise more, just saying, I want to exercise more, probably isn't going to really help. You need to say what kind of exercise, how frequent you want to do it, and start off small. Remember, these goals can be amended and changed throughout the year. So, for example, I've had a couple of months off swimming, so one of my goals this year is to do more in terms of my exercise, starting with I want to swim once a week for January. And then once I hit February, I'm going to build it up to twice a week. and so on and so forth, until by the end of the year, I'm doing the number of times that I have in my mind of what I want to do, and I've got the days on when I want to do it. So the second one for SMART, the M, is measurable. So that is, how are you going to say that you've achieved this? How will you know that you've done it? So for me, as I said with the swimming, it's going to be swimming once a week. So it doesn't matter what day it is at this moment in time, once a week. I'm going to measure that by knowing I've done swimming. I have a Fitbit which I log my exercises on, and that will help me measure how many times a week I've done that. And again in February, I'll add a second one on, and this will help me keep tracking to see how consistently I'm doing that. The A is for achievable. So, is it achievable? Is that something I can do? Can I honestly say that once a week I will have the time and energy to go swimming? At this point, yes, I can do. Yeah, it's completely achievable. Um, it's part of one area of my life. I can do this. It's no problem. Yep, that's good. Realistic. Is it realistic? If I said I'm going to swim 7 days a week and I haven't done it for however long, that is totally not realistic. The fact that I'm doing it once a week for January, then building up twice in February, that to me is realistic and achievable. I have done it before. I know I can do it. So it's just a matter of just continuing on with that. So be realistic. Again, if you're setting goals and you want to have a Lamborghini or something, it's got to be realistic in terms of when that's going to happen. You might want to work towards that, but you might have lots of little goals you got to do to build up to get you to the stage where you can afford to get that Lamborghini, where you might not even be able to drive. It's taking it step by step. So be realistic with yourself. Can you do this? Do you know you can do this? Convince yourself that you can. And the final one, the T for smart, is timely. So have you got the time to do this? Can you fit this in? Well, I can definitely put half an hour aside once a week to go swimming, definitely. Now, a lot of the time when we're doing these goals, what we say to ourselves is, I haven't got the time. I just have not got the time to do this. I can't fit this into my schedule. And that's a good reason why we end up drifting off or making a good start and then changing it. If you want to make these lifestyle changes, if you want to hit these goals, you will make the time to do it. And it's just about looking at your schedule and prioritizing. If it's exercise, for example, you're doing that to improve your health. That is important. It's having that right balance between work life, between home life, between self care time. It's balancing it all out. So if you have the time, if you want it, you will make the time to do it. And that is the other thing. So don't go making something completely unrealistic with time schedules that just won't work. Just think about times. Maybe I can get up half an hour earlier. Maybe I can go for that walk during lunch. Maybe there's schemes that work do that I can help. There's loads of options out there. So really think about it. Do not just dismiss it. If you just dismiss it, then you're already telling your brain, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to do this. It's the language you use. We've got to change it to that positive language. Which brings me on to a great technique, which I have waffled on about before, and you will see separate videos about this, and you can look it up and get a lot more detail into it as well, which is the Whoop technique. Now, the reason I love this technique so much is it links with how your brain works. It is fantastic. So it's a convincer. So we start off with the Whoop, with the wish. So what is it that you want to achieve? So again, that's when you refer back to those SMART goals, what you've done. You should have worked your way through that and find out what you realistically it is that you want to achieve. So I'm going to use exercise as the example for this one. So you want to improve your fitness, do more exercise, generally be healthier. That is the wish. So the O in Whoop, the first O is outcome. Now, this is where it starts linking in with your brain. So, what would be the benefit of you getting that wish? What we're doing here is we are convincing our minds that this is good for us, that we need to do this, that we want to do this. When we're doing things like hypnotherapy, meditation, all those type of things, it's that convincer. We are convincing that subconscious mind that this is something that we want. and this outcome is it. So why now, basically? Why do you want to do this now? Why is it important? So it could be, for example, that you're just feeling really run down, you're feeling a bit bloated, you're a bit fed up, you're not a fan when you look in the mirror of the shape and size that you are, and you want to make a difference. So the outcome would be you would be healthier, you would have more energy, you will feel more comfortable in your clothes, you'll be able to move more, maybe you'll be able to keep up the kids, the dogs, whatever it is. Think of the reasons and the benefits you will get, that if you look 2 years down the line, for example, and you have hit it, a magic wand has been waved, you've got it straight away, what will your life look like different to what it looks like now? That is a really important one. And that is one I really want you to all focus on, especially when you're doing any form of goals. And that is what we can work with in a lot of the wellbeing tools that we use, is having that convincer to say, this is it. This is why I want to do it. This is why it's important. It doesn't matter if you've tried before, if you've made an attempt, forget anything that's happened in the past. Forget what other people are saying to you. It's what you want to do. It's you convincing your mind that this is what you want and this is why you want it. So the second O in WHOOP is obstacles. So this is about planning ahead. This is about thinking, right, what is it that stops me or could stop me from achieving this goal? So let's again take the exercise goal as an example. So what could stop me? Right, so I'm all enthused about it, and then it goes to go, and then the thought of, oh, I've got to get the exercise equipment out. Oh, I've got to pack my gym stuff, and then I've got to get ready and get changed and go. Oh, no, can't do that. Okay, so that could be an obstacle. Yeah, that type of a thing. Or maybe eating healthier, but having to cook every single day, new things and fresh things. Oh, that's such a bother. I only have certain things that I like anyway. You know, that type of thing. What is it that could get in your way? What could stop you from achieving that goal? So think about all of those things and make a list of them. Final one in WHOOP is plan. So what we now doing, we are going to plan to overcome those obstacles. So what can we put in place to make sure that we do that goal despite those obstacles? Yeah. So for example, let's look at the exercise goal. So first of all, by making the goal achievable, realistic, you're more likely to do it. Starting small, building up and changing throughout the year as you get further on. Maybe you want to prepare the night before. Maybe you want to have all your gym clothes ready next to your bed, or your swimming kit, or whatever it is, packed, pre-done, there. So all you have to do is pick that bag up and walk out the door. I've even heard of some people sleeping in the running gear so they can get up in the morning and go straight for a run first thing. Not my option, but that's what some people do. You've got to think of, what can I do to make this happen? Maybe you want a buddy. Maybe having that buddy will make you accountable for doing it. So if you agree with someone, either just tell them that you're going to do it and have them check in with you to make sure you have done it and to see how you're progressing, or get your buddy to do it with you. Maybe they've got the same goals. They want to start walking, they want to go running, they want to join the gym. Do it together. By having that accountability, you don't want to let the other person down. You said you're going to do it. It's more likely going to make you do it because you've got that accountability. And it's a social commitment. You know, we are social creatures, human beings are, whether we're an introvert, an extrovert, it doesn't matter. Community and socializing is really important to us. And it can distract you whilst you're there as well, having conversations. You know, it can make a big difference. I know from my own experience, there's been one time where just before my wedding, I did a lot of exercising with my friend. She was amazing. She came swimming with me. We went to do classes. We did all sorts of stuff. And you know what? Having that distraction there, I stayed longer than I expected to. Because if I go on my own, I can get a bit distracted, a bit off, well, you know, I don't have to. It's that type of thing. There is having somebody there talking to you just gives you that extra boost, and time flies and you don't realize you've done it. Another alternative I did is I had a PT. So before I moved here, I worked with an amazing PT called Jodie Louise. She's Jodie Louise Fitness. You've probably seen me post about her previously in my old location. And she was brilliant because she distracted me. She talked to me. We had therapy sessions, we had all sorts of things, business planning, you name it. We talked about everything during these PT sessions. She helped me do the right exercises I needed to get to where I wanted to be, and she distracted me. And before I knew it, the lesson was over. The PT session was ended. And it made such a difference. I progressed a lot when I had that support. And it wasn't as expensive as I was expecting. But you've got options. If you want to have a PT, you can go down that path. You don't have to. You could just have your friend there to account for you. So that's for exercise. Maybe for eating healthier, you could meal prep. So have, say, half day on a Sunday, whenever it is where you've got a good fair bit of time, and do some meal preps for yourself. So I, for example, will just cook more than I need to. I'll have the slow cooker going on, and then I'll be cooking some other bits, and I'll prep the meals for the week. I do it with my breakfast, even things like fruit. I have the boxes ready, wash all the fruit, separate it throughout the week. That's all done and it's there. So it's just a matter of me popping that in my bag and off I go. You can do it with so many different things. Um, Trying new recipes, exploring what's out there, exchanging things for healthier options. At the end of the day, if you really, really like a certain thing, so maybe you really like sugary pop drinks, go for a sugar-free one that's got sweetness in. It's still not perfect, but at the end of the day, it's a slight change. And again, things with tea and things like that, maybe change to decaf. Do it slowly though, because that can have an impact. All these things we can make small changes to sort of get us where we need to be. Look at alternatives. If you need to, speak to a nutritionist maybe. There's lots of options out there. There is lots of things that we can do to really help us get where we need to be. And by planning how we're going to overcome these obstacles, it just makes it that bit simpler. So, those are the two that I sort of want to really focus on. So, if you start with your SMART goal and then use the WHOOP technique to work out how you're going to go about it to convince that brain that this is something we want to do, that if this obstacle comes up, then we're going to plan for it and this is how we're going to get around it. You can use visualization at this point as well. You can do it as part of a meditation, or you could just do it as an exercise in the morning. It shouldn't take very long, and you can do this with any goal that you've got. So, visualization, our brains are very visual, they learn by visual, whether it's video, whether it's a photograph, it doesn't matter. If you can imagine something, your brain will see that as real and as happening. So, let me give you an example. So, let's try a little technique now. I'm going to do a visualization technique with you and just see how your brain and body reacts so I can prove to you that this works and then we can then use it in goals planning going forward. So what I want you to do is I just want you to just close your eyes and I want you to imagine a lemon. Now just picture it, picture the shape, the size, the weight. I want you to think of the skin, that sort of pippy sort of skin. When you just touch it, you sort of get that briny feeling on your fingers, that oily stuff off the surface, or the little dimples, that vibrant colour. I want you to imagine the smell of a lemon, that fresh, clean smell. I want you to really, really get the image of this. Just imagine it right in your mind. And once you've imagined it, once you've got that image, once you're really, really clear with it, I want you to bite into that lemon. Now, what's happening? So maybe you've got saliva in your mouth. Maybe some of you can even taste it. Maybe some of you are scrunching your faces up as we speak. You have just done that with your mind. You've not actually ate a lemon, but because you visualized it, because you really thought about it in great detail, you can taste that lemon as if you've just bitten into it. That's how powerful our minds are. And we can use this when we are setting these goals, when we are working towards what we are doing to get where we need to. So, a great technique is to do a quick visualization on whatever it is that your goal is. So, let's go to the future. So, let's imagine, say, a month's time. You've started this goal, you're working. Just close your eyes and just picture yourself doing that thing. Picture the little changes that are happening already. Maybe if it's exercise, you're feeling that little bit healthier. Maybe you've got a bit looser clothes, maybe. Maybe it's making you socialise with your friends more. Just keep that image and then move on to 6 months' time. Where are you now? Maybe you've dropped a couple of dress sizes. You're eating a lot healthier. You've got more energy to do the things that you want to do. Just really imagine it. What are you wearing? What are you doing? What is different? And then move on to 12 months' time. Get that image. Where are you now? What difference has it made sticking to this throughout the year? And just visualize all the things that you've done, all the obstacles you've overcome to get where you need to. Where now, this goal is second nature. This goal is just like breathing, it comes automatic and easy for you. You have built it into your routine. It's easy enough for you to do, and look at all the amazing benefits that you're getting from it. And then just open your eyes. And if you do that visualization exercise a little bit, doesn't have to be every day, but on a regular basis, it will make a difference. It really, really will. As we've shown from the exercise with the lemon, if we're focused on it, if our brain is seeing this, it can really, really support you with your goals. One of the things to remember is it takes 21 days to break an old habit, 21 days to create a new one, and 21 days to sustain it. So you've got to be kind to yourselves. You may slip, but it's not the end of the world. Accept it. Life happens. Start again the next day. So all of these things are really important when we're goal setting. So I just want to remind you just once more why we are doing this live today, and it is for Mind for Suicide Prevention. 1 in 4 of us will experience a mental health problem every year, and 1 in 15 people will attempt suicide during their lifetime. Let's raise some money for Mind. Let's help them support people and check out their pages. So I'll go back onto the goals now. So we've done that. So we've looked at SMART. So we've got to make them SMART goals, and we've looked at the WHOOP technique and how we can link this in with our minds to make it quicker, to make it easier, to make it more effective. So there's another couple of things that I want you to think about when you are looking at goals. And one of these has an acronym called PRESENT. Okay. So the P stands for, is it positive? So what you want to do when you are creating any form of goal is you want it to focus on the positive, not the negative. So rather than I want to stop doing this, it's I want to do this. So for example, smoking. You don't want to say I want to stop smoking. You want to say I am a non-smoker. I'm an ex-smoker. Yeah. It's that language that we use that sort of helps and supports our brains to really accept the goal that we're looking for. So is it positive? Make this a positive goal. Think of the language that you are using. I touched on this a little bit yesterday for anybody that joined me for that live on weight control, but basically there's certain words that we use quite regularly that are telling our brains a lot of bad stuff, and usually is the reasons why we don't continue with these goals. So, for example, try. How often do you use the word try? I tried to phone you last night. Well, you didn't try to phone them, you did phone them, they just weren't available. Trying suggests you are failing or you are going to fail. So scrub that word, catch yourself when you're using it. Don't tell yourself off, just catch it and go, right, let's pop this to one side. I'm not using that. I have done this. I am going to do this. Yeah. So try out the window. Again, if we're talking about weight, the word lose. If you lose something, it suggests that you can find it again. So change that. We're not losing weight. We are reducing in size. We are getting to our ideal shape and size. Lose, you'll find. So get rid of that word as well. So just changing some simple language can make such a difference when we're doing any form of goal as well. Think about the language you're using when you're sorting your goals out and see what you can change, what you can switch to make it positive. It's like flipping a coin. If one side is negative, flip it. What's the opposite of that? And that's what you're going to focus on. So back to present. So the R is for responsible. Who is responsible? When you are setting these goals, think about, is this in your wheelhouse? If your goal, for example, is to move house, if you live with people that is going to affect, are you responsible or are they responsible as well? Really think about it. These goals need to be within your parameters to change it. You want to move house and your partner does not, or you've got children that are maybe at school doing exams, that type of thing, and it's not the right time for them, then, it's going to have an impact. It's going to have an impact on whether you can reach that goal, and it's going to have an impact on their lives as well. So, really think about who is responsible and who is going to get involved in getting this goal. So E is for environment. So again, what we're doing here is we are thinking and convincing our brains as to how this is going to work. It's helping with that visualization. So the environment, who is going to be there as you're doing this goal? Where are you going to do it? So if it's exercise, for example, will it be a gym? Will it be a local park? Are you going to be going on walks? What is it you're going to be doing to get this exercise in? Where will you be doing it? Who will be with you? Are you doing it with a friend? Or are you doing it on your own? You're taking the dog with you? What is it you're doing? Maybe you're going to get your kids involved. Think about who is going to be involved in it. And again, this all adds to that image, that visualization, that plan of how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, and who you're going to do it with. The S is for senses. Now, I love this one. So, senses is your VACOG system. So, what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you hear, and what you feel. If you can use your senses when you are planning these goals, it will make it so much more realistic when you're visualizing. It will make it so much more realistic when you are planning what you are doing. So you've got this goal in mind. What will you see? What's it going to look like? What smells are going to be? You're going to be outside. Maybe you're going to be smelling the fresh air. Maybe you by the sea, you can smell the sea. It's at a swimming pool, you'll smell the chlorine. What is it? The smells that are going to be around. Same with taste. You know, is it a healthier way of eating? In which case, is it going to be, you're going to taste a lot more greenery, a lot more fresh things? Yeah, less, forgetting the grease and everything. What are the fresh tastes that you're going to get and how that's going to make an impact? What are you going to hear? What are the sounds going to be around you? You know, are you going to a gym so you'll hear other people working out? Maybe the radio on in the background. Maybe you're doing couch to 5K and you're going to be on your own and you're just listening to the person talking in your ear. Maybe you hear nothing. Maybe it's just the breeze in the trees, the birds in the sky. Really use that to sort of get where you need to. And the feel. So, what does things feel like? Maybe it's the clothes that are going to be touching your skin. Maybe it'll be the mat that you're doing all the exercise equipment. just when you're doing these visualization exercises we talked about earlier, bring all of your senses into it, because it will really convince your brain that that's what's happening, and it'll help you work towards those goals. So E is ecology. So we're still in present here. So E, ecology, which is basically who benefits. So again, thinking a little bit back to what we talked about earlier with the outcome, what benefits are going to happen? Who's it going to benefit? So if it is to get fitter, to get healthier, it's not just going to benefit you, maybe it'll benefit your family. Maybe you'll be able to do more, go out with your children, take the dog for longer walks. Who's going to get the benefit from it? And all of these things are convinces to our mind as to why we should be doing these goals, why it's important, and to help you get where you need to. N is for navigate. So, how are you going to go about doing this? So, really look into the details. So, again, I'll take the exercise one for a thing. So, exercise, right? How are you going to go about doing it? Well, maybe you haven't got a lot of money, so you're thinking, right, I need to do something that is gentler because I haven't done exercise in a while and is free. So maybe you go online and look at the Couch to 5K. I'm going to start off doing that, a little bit of running. Maybe running's too much. Maybe what you want to do is you want to join a local walking group or just start off going walking on your own. How are you going to do this? Think about that. Think about the details of it. Think about how it's going to affect you. How are you going to go about it? And build all that in. T, so talents. So do you have the skills and the resources to do this goal? This is the final one of present. Do you have everything you need to do this goal? So if it's exercise, for example, and you're not going to the gym, do you have the equipment to do it? Or do you have alternatives? So rather than weights, you're filling bottles of water and using that, or a tin can, for example. Maybe it's a career goal. So maybe what you want to do is you need to redo a little bit of research, see if you've got the skills to get where you need to go. And if you haven't, maybe it's then looking at what way you can get those skills. Is there a course you can do? Is there a mentor you can speak to? All of those things. So think about what skills, what resources you need to get to this goal. Yeah. So we've looked at all of those different acronyms to help you in terms of setting your goal. So once you've got that, once you know what you're doing and where you're going, what can we then use to help us out and to get us where we need to be, what to help us get motivated, what well-being tools can we put in place? So there's lots of different things. So I'm going to start off with something which people can sometimes think is a little bit, I don't understand why people do this. Does it work? Yeah, it does. And I'll tell you why. So here we go. This is a vision board. Please don't switch off. So the good thing about a vision board is it focuses your attention on what you want to do. So you can focus on each of the areas you want to work on. You can, it, it's visual, so your brain picks up on all the images. And if you put it somewhere in sight, so you're seeing it regular. So for example, you might want a work one where you have it at your office or in a space you can see it. You might have a personal one, which you can put sort of in your bedroom. So it's there when you wake up, it's there as you go to sleep. So focus, concentration, our brain works through that way. Visual, our brain works through that way. So again, we're ticking all of these boxes. And what we can do is we can also introduce other well-being techniques that we can link in with the vision board to help cement it in. So for example, tapping, we can do a tap. So you can focus on one of the areas. And I'm just going to need my hand a minute, so I'll just pop this here for me. So you focus on one of the areas. We've got a sort of karate point here, which is one of the tapping things. So work your way around your board, just tapping that area. Concentrate on one of the sections and just simply say, I can do this, I will do this. I can do this, I will do this. I can do this, I will do this. And just work your way around the different areas on your vision board. I did this last year, the year before. And one of my big things was I wanted to move to Cornwall. I wanted to live and work in Cornwall. The reason this board is so empty at the moment is because I have taken off the things that I have achieved on here and put them in a little box as a reminder to myself of how far I've come and of what I've done, because that's another fantastic way to keep you encouraged, is to look back on all the amazing things that you've done. So this vision board did have on here living in Cornwall. Well, Cornwall living, it's still there. I can technically take that one off now. Have you got it? Can I get it on? There we go, Cornwall living. So that'll come off and I can pop that away. I've used a cork board. The reason I've used this is because it's easy enough to unpin and pin things in. And easy enough to sort of move things around. Now with a vision board, or when you're setting any goals, you can use different areas of your life to look at. So there's health and fitness, business and career, family and friends, possessions, personal development, intimate relationships, spirituality, and finance. If you can put all of those areas on a vision board in terms of the goals that you want, and it doesn't have to be anything specific, like for example, this is a course that I want to do. So again, that's on there specific. But then again, I've got something a little bit more general. So I've got health and wellbeing events. Now, I attended several of these last year, and it's something else that I want to continue doing. It might be money that you want. So again, you can get a blank check, fill that out, put a date on in the future. Focusing on these areas is telling our brain, this is what we're going to do, this is what we want to do. So yeah, so however you want to do this, have a chat, have a think, and it's a fun thing to do as a family as well. So you can get the kids involved doing their own little mini ones. And as I say, building something like tapping, visualization, and focusing on those areas, it really does make a big difference. So that's your vision boards. I'll pop that down there. Right. Clearing past assumptions is another area I want to talk to you about. So, how many times have you been told that you can't do something, that you won't be able to, it'll be difficult? You've got people's opinions interfering and stopping you from doing what you need to do. We've got to let that go. Now, there's many meditations out there, visualizations that you can do, or you can go deeper if it's really in sync in there. We can, with a therapist, hypnotherapy, any of those things, just to clear those old messages and start to create new ones. Now, in hypnotherapy, we clear the path. So when we have an experience, it creates a neural pathway. And the more that we have something similar to that experience, the stronger that pathway gets. So our body, our minds automatically go down there. So emotion is energy in motion, so you feel it. So when something's happened to you, so for example, I've used this example a few times, a spider. When you're little, if you see someone jump at a spider, it makes you jump. You continue that every time you see a spider going forward. It might develop more as you get older into daddy long legs or wasps or whatever it is, and you're jumping and you're reacting, physically feeling it, you're emotionally feeling it, you're having that reaction, it's going down this pathway. What we can do with hypnotherapy is we work straight with that subconscious mind and we start to create a new pathway, a different reaction. So whilst you might not like the spider, it doesn't mean that you need to jump and react every time that you see it. So we could work on a different, well, they're more frightened of me than I am of them, etc. Work on that, really get it in with that subconscious mind, and a new pathway is created. So next time you see that spider, you don't have that same reaction. So it's taking that emotion out of it and focusing on a new pathway. And we can do that with past experiences, we can clear things out. Anything that no longer serves you, that isn't there anymore. We're on record up to the age of 7, all these experiences, everything that happens to us. And if you're told something over and over and over again, it creates that pathway. So let's change that up. Let's switch it. Let's create a better mindset, a more positive mindset to get us where we need to go with the goals. One of the ways you can start to do this that doesn't involve anything like therapy, hypnotherapy, that type of a thing, is something as simple as affirmations. Yes, affirmations. What we're doing here is we are consciously starting to reprogram the way that we are thinking. And you can write affirmations on any topic, any of the goals that you have got set up, you can do some affirmations on. Now, some things to remember when we are doing them is they need to be in current tense as if they are happening to you now. You are doing it now. They need to be positive. So again, none of this I don't want to. It is I am. So no, I want to quit smoking. That isn't one. I am a non-smoker. I am an ex-smoker. That type of a thing. Yeah. It's positive stuff that you need to focus on in the current tense. And you can do this through all your different goals. So you might have several goals, as we talked about earlier. There's the different areas of our lives that we can work these goals into. You could have affirmations, 2 or 3 affirmations on each of them. Yeah. So let me see if I can find any examples for you. So let's take the exercise one, for example. So I move my body easily. I introduce movement every single day. My body changes and flows just like a tree. I enjoy exercising. I feel amazing after exercising. That type of a thing. Yeah. Or if it's food, I enjoy healthy and nutritious food. I love to drink water every day. It nourishes my body. These are the type of things that we're sort of talking about. And again, it's reprogramming that mind. So maybe you're a little unconfident, maybe your self image isn't great. Try things along the lines of I love myself, I trust myself, that type of a thing. Yeah. And again, the affirmations are great. Sticking to that 21-day rule. So 21 days to break a habit, 21 days to start a new one, 21 days to sustain it. If you say affirmations every day for those periods of time, the difference it will make, even just after 21 days, it will make a huge, huge difference to you. I mentioned this yesterday, but there was a lady, I think I posted it previously. If you look back on my socials, you can find it. She was very unconfident, very unhappy, and she started to say positive things about herself and recorded herself doing it every single day. It shows you the progress and the difference it made from the day she started to the day she, well, not finished because I'm assuming she carried on, but several months or a year after, she was like a completely different person because she started to reprogram that mind, to change that mindset. And it made the world of difference, boosted her confidence, and affected lots of other areas of her life. And that's the thing with a lot of these goals. Whilst you're aiming to do one thing, it will actually impact lots of others. So that's fantastic, yeah? So, affirmations, think about them. Aim to have about 10 of them. Say them every day. Maybe also record them. So, record yourself saying these 10 affirmations 3 or 5 times. Play it in the background on repeat whilst you're doing the dishes, whilst you're doing some monotonous task, because your subconscious brain will be picking up on that. Maybe you want images around the room with that affirmation on, or something similar, just something positive. Your brain will be picking up on this information. So have something related to that goal on the wall. Whether if you don't want to do a vision board, have an image. So I wanted to move to Cornwall, which is what I've thankfully managed to do, but I had images directly in front of me every single day of Cornwall. So right above my computer, it was there as I was working away every single day. I also had a couple of little things that sort of said about relaxing and being calm. So again, stressful situations when I was on the computer, I'd look up and see that, and my brain's picking up on that to sort of bring me back down. So using all of these techniques, work with these goals. So you've just got to get yourself in there. Think of what it means to you. It doesn't have to be specific. It could mean something else to somebody else, it's what it means to you, and that's what you've got to use, and that's what you need to sort of learn. So, one of the other things I want to talk to you about when we're doing all these goals, and we touched on it a little bit earlier, is something called time affluence. So, time affluence is where, I mean, how many times have we turned around and said, "Oh, I'm so busy, I've got so much on." Yeah, we all talk about how busy we are all the time. Time affluence is about the little savings of times that we get and how we can then use that to do something more positive. So I'd split this personal and work because it's easy to sort of do that way. So, for example, you're in work, a meeting gets cancelled. Yay. What do you then do? You then end up faffing around, not really doing a huge amount. There's if you have a time affluence list. So on this list is a list of things that you would like to do, you would like to pick up on if you had the time, but you haven't. So maybe it's you want to develop your career, you want to do a step up, for example. So maybe it's a course that you've got on there. You've just got an hour back from that meeting. Do that course. Pick something off this time affluence list and do it. Same when you're at home. You're due to meet up with a friend, or the kids have got a play date, whatever it is, and it gets cancelled. You've got that time back. So rather than sitting there scrolling on your phone, wasting the time, what have you got on that time affluence list that you can do? If it's exercise, maybe you can get in a quick little exercise, whether it's doing a couple of squats while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, or maybe there's a little app that you've got. I use Fit On, for example. It's free. It's got exercises on there, different times of the day. I could do something off there. Maybe it's something along the lines of you want to do a little bit more self care or you want to build some more well-being techniques in. You've got 5 minutes, do that meditation, you know, have that bubble bath, read a book, whatever it is, all the things you'd like to build in, but you simply have not got the time. Make a list, and when something like this happens, great, use it. Takeaway, for example, if you order a takeaway, you've saved yourself an hour of cooking. What are you doing whilst you're waiting for that takeaway? Use that time wisely. Pick something off your list and do it. You've ordered it, so you don't have to do the cooking. Therefore, use the time to do something more positive for yourself. So, time affluence is a great thing to start building into your day, whether at work or whether at home. It makes a huge, huge difference. So, yeah, build that in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to touch on a little bit on why we're here today on Mind, and then what I'm going to do for those of you that want to join me is I'm going to do a tap. So EFT, I don't know if any of you have done it before, but it's called tapping. It's a really effective tool. It works very similar to hypnotherapy, only you're doing it very consciously. And I'm going to do a tap with you to end this about just changing up how we're feeling at the moment. So making ourselves motivated and prepared and ready to make these changes and to set these goals. But for now, I just want to remind you that the reason we're here is for Mind, for suicide prevention. They do so much work to help and support people that have been through this, that are going through this, or that have been had somebody that's gone through it and it's impacted them. 1 in 4 of us every year have a mental health problem. 1 in 15 of us in our lifetimes will attempt suicide. It's a really big topic. I know lots of people that have been touched by this and it affects them. And last year alone, the Mind website for help and support was visited 24 million times. That is 24 million. Wow. The resources are out there. There are things you can do. This year, I wanted to learn more. I've done a course on suicide prevention because it's such an important topic. You know, it's becoming more and more relevant. So please, please, please do check them out. And if you can, please donate. Tim will put the link again in the chat. That would be fantastic. Good morning to those of you that join us. Helen, thank you very much. Fantastic. I'm glad that's all helping out. And again, please share this, invite people, share it after the live as well. It's really, really important. So we'll get onto this tap. So for those of you that haven't done tapping before, welcome. This is a great tool. I've got lots of it all over my socials. So if you are interested, please go and check some of them out. It's really, really effective and it can quickly change your mindset. We mentioned earlier that you can use it with things like a vision board. You can use it with lots of other different therapies and techniques. You can use it to just change your mood or whatever it is, just to get you where you need to. So tapping. So I'm going to show you the tapping places first, and then we will go ahead and get on with a tap. So first of all, the tapping places are here. So we've got just sort of there, right in between the eyes. Some of you might know it as a sort of third eye type place. So just there, very gently. Now you can do it with 2 fingers or you can do it with one. It's entirely up to you. The next bit is at the side of our eyes here. So that's the tapping spot. We've got just under our eyes, just under our nose. We've got the chin. Now on here, you see you've got 2 collarbones here. So you get the tapping spot just there. And the final one is on top of your head. So you can either go at the middle or you can start at the middle and go round like that. So they're the tapping areas. So what I want you to do when you're doing this is I want you to think of how you feel about right at this moment about goals and setting them. Maybe it's a specific goal, and I want you to give yourself a score between 1 and 10 as to how you feel on that. 10 is you feel fantastic, you're ready for it, you're motivated, you're really ready to go. 1 is you've got no clue, you've got no motivation, you don't want to be there. So just give yourself that score between 1 and 10, 10 being brilliant, 1 being not great, on how you're feeling about either a specific goal or about goals in general and getting it sorted. And that's what we'll start. If you're happy to put them in the comments, feel free to do that. That'd be great. I'd love to see your progress as we go through. If not, don't worry about it. Just keep a personal note for yourself. So I want you to do that. And if you're not sure, just put your hands on your heart, close your eyes, and take a nice deep breath and really tune in to how you feel. Get that score. Just settle in to sort of how you are, how you're feeling right now. And when we're ready, we're going to start with the tapping between the eyes. Okay? It's all right here. I'm feeling really demotivated. Just repeat these things after me. Yeah? I'm feeling demotivated. Side of the eyes. I've not got a lot of energy at the moment. Under the eyes. I'm fed up. I don't think I can do this. Under the nose. Goals and resolutions again. Under the chin. I don't think I can do this. I've got no motivation. Top of the head. Nope, not ready for this. So I want you to go through with this tapping. If my words don't resonate with you, put ones that do. So this first round is all about acknowledging how we're currently feeling. So if you need to go around again, using your words, do it. This next round, we're going to accept what's happened. So start again here. But that's okay. Side of the eyes. I'm only human. It's been a tough time lately. Under the nose. I'm allowed to feel this way. I give myself permission to feel this way. I'm only human. Top of the head. I accept this. Okay, so in this next round, we are going to change and switch things up a bit. So starting again here. But you know what? I want to change this up. Side of the eyes. I want to make these changes. Under the eye. Yeah, I want to do this. Under the nose. I'm motivated. This is really going to benefit me. Just think of the difference this is going to make. Wow, I've got this. I've totally got this. I'm really inspired. I can feel that motivation. That sort of excited tingling. I've got this. I can do this. Yeah, let's go. Hands on your heart, close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. And whilst you've got your eyes closed and your hands on your heart, I want you to think once more on how you're feeling about that goal. That between 1 and 10. 1 being that's great, 10 being excellent. What number are you at now? The number should have gone up. Again, if you're happy to put it in the notes, put it in the notes. If not, just write it down for yourself. What did that do? Yeah. And what we'll do is we will do one more round of this with you now, but you can do as many rounds of this as you like until you get up to a number that you're happy with. Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be big, it could just be a couple of notches up. But doing something like this every single day just switches it up. Because what we're doing is we are using sort of the acupuncture points. And what we're doing is we are starting to reprogram that mind. Yeah. That's how it works. There is a lot of science behind it, I promise you. And again, if you look back at some of my other videos, I go into it into a lot more detail. So let's do one more round. And then let me see how you're all doing. Because we're nearing to the end. It's been nearly an hour. Can you believe it already? So let's go. So one more time. So I've been here. Still feeling a bit nervous. A little bit unsure. Can I do this? Is this something I really want? Maybe it frightens me a little bit. Have I got the time to do this? Still feeling a bit unsure. But that's okay. That's absolutely fine. I'm allowed to feel like this. I'm allowed to worry a bit. I'm only human. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, start the final round. But I've got this. I really want this. Being nervous can be a good thing. I'm feeling motivated. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. With lots of motivation now. Say it. I can do this. I've got it. I've totally got this. I will make the time. This is important to me. I can do this. Yep, I can do this. Totally got this. I'm ready to go. Hands on heart, close your eyes, take another nice deep breath. Fantastic. And again, just see where you are on that scale. 10 being excellent, 1 being not so great. And then you should have hopefully moved up. So again, do this as many times as you need to. You can repeat, look back at this video, or you can just do it on your own. You've got the routine of it now, you know where you're going, and see the difference it makes. And again, tapping is something you can do all the time. It's something you can do once you know what you're doing, even without a practitioner there. If there's something a little bit more deeper, again, feel free to have a chat with me, check people out. There's a wonderful lady called Poppy Delbridge who does live taps on Instagram every Monday at 11 o'clock, 11:11, I think it is. So please go check her out. Her book's amazing as well, and it works through a lot of stuff. Often when we're tapping, it's sort of a release. So if you get a little bit emotional, don't worry about it. It's getting it all out. Um, and it can also bring lots of other stuff on. So you might start tapping about one thing and then something else might come out and then you end up moving on to that. So again, if you're not sure, do it with a practitioner, but you can sort of do it on your own. And remember, there's the karate chop one. So maybe you're out and about, something's gone on, you can quite happily do that quietly with no one really not realizing what you're doing. And it's the same thing with sort of the tapping. There are other tapping points, but these are the ones we're sort of going to focus on today. So yeah, so that's it. I think we have gone over the hour by a minute already. So, yes, so thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you for everybody that's added in the comments, that shared this, and that's donated as well to Mind. It's such an amazing cause. I am going to be doing a live every Sunday at 10 o'clock in January. Um, Covering all sorts of different things. So if there's anything in specific that you would like me to cover, please, please, please let me know. It could be something specific, like you want more details on hypnotherapy, meditation, EFT. Maybe it's just generalized topics, and like we did goal setting today. Maybe you want it on other areas. Obviously, I did a chat on weight control live yesterday, but if you want me to do anything similar for that, then feel free, that's no problem. Put it in the comments, let me know what it is that you want, and I will make sure that I'm covering it, and we will raise some amazing money for that fantastic charity. Thank you all for joining me. Please do share this. Please keep commenting even after the live has ended. It means a lot. Your feedback means a lot to me. And have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you next Sunday. Bye.